A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Mzansi Affairs. My name is Moeketsi, my man, and I am not alone. I am with Mr. Jabulani on the line right now. Mr. Jabulani, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mo. Good morning to our viewers and our listeners. How are you, Mo?
I am good, thanks. And how are you doing, man? We see that the weather is a little bit changing. I just want to know from where you are. How is the weather and what are things looking like?
The weather is not bad. I'm in Joburg today. Excuse me about the reception, but I think we're gonna manage.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. We are going to manage, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome you. My name is Moeketsi, my money once again, and I am with Mr. Jabulani right here on the WhatsApp line call. And this is Mzansi Affairs. As you see the headlines for today, we are going to be discussing what we call the vows to act against the corrupt cops in South Africa. So we are now live in our social media platforms, which is YouTube. We are live in YouTube. We are live in Facebook. We are also live in TikTok. You can join our conversation by commenting down below. And you can also leave us your comment and tell us what you really think on our WhatsApp line, which is 061 524 7758. It's 061 524 7758. Please do not forget to subscribe and follow us on each and every social media platforms. We are share online on each and social media platform. So, getting on top of the things, just giving you a glimpse of what we are going to be discussing and getting you into the discussion. We hope that you guys get into our discussion as we are going to be speaking about the outlines and the priorities of what the police in South Africa should do and the crimes that they're supposed to be focusing on. As we saw that Mr. Begicele stepped down as the police minister, and then Mr. Senzo Mchunu was appointed as the police minister in the seventh administration. So that is what we are going to be discussing. So we are going to be touching slightly on the changes that happened in the police ministry and what they will be looking like moving on forward. Also, the past crime stats, as we know that the crime is a really, really big pandemic in our country. We are going to be looking at the stats that have been there for the past years. Also, the impact that the crime has on the economy, in which we would like to hear from you at home. Whether you're watching, you can send us or leave down your comment down below and tell us what you really think. Also, crime when Mr. Cele was in power and the difference that we would see when Mr. Msenzo Mchunu, steps up as the police minister. So right now, Jabu, I just wanna, just to know from you, man, in terms of the crime, how do you foresee or oversee the crime that's happening here in this country?
Of course, Mo. The crime is high. We've been complaining in different areas. People are killed every day. House breakings. There is a lot of things that are happening that was not supposed to happen. But I think now we're gonna take a new direction from Mr. Senzo Mchunu. I think it's going to do well because I've read a couple of articles about the planning and what is going to implement.
Yeah, because that is what Mr. Mchunu spoke about, the priorities that will lead the country to becoming a safer place. So right now on my screen, I'm going to share it with you after we come in the break, because right now I haven't connected my things very well. So just a glimpse of what you will be seeing after the break is that, say in the States, it says that about 1.1 million households experienced house breakings, burglary in 2022-2023, and this was 7.5 of the households in South Africa. 1.1 million households where they experience House breakings, guys. Home robbery is regarded as a violent crime because people are at home when it takes place, as compared to house breaking, which is called burglary. It also occurs when the family is away from home. And the second most common type of crime experienced by households in SA, home robbery, affecting 195,000 households. An estimated 238,000 incidences of home robberies occurred in 2022 and 2023, representing 1.0% of all households in the country. Those kind of stats are the stats that tells us about the kind of crime that we are facing in our country and the kind of crime that we go through in our country. As we see that now Mr. Senzo Mchunu has stepped up and been appointed as the police minister. There are certain things he discussed with the people, certain outlined priorities that he is setting apart, as we saw in KwaZulu-Natal or Mpumalanga, where the police officers were deployed there when it comes to the GNU that has been formed, so that they can make sure that the country is safe. So jumping back, Mr. JB, before we go to the break and just discuss this high headlines of ours and get people into the conversation, I just want to know from you. I mean, they say here 1.1 million houses in 2022, where it was house burglaries. People's houses got, raided. So I just want to hear from you. Like, what do you think of, like the outcome of how police manage crime in this country?
I would say more numbers can't lie. I mean, like people are living in fear, and it's one thing leading to another. Because crime, if you can see, crime is going up because a lot of people are not working. So they try so much to hustle that lead them to crime and all that. So it need a strong force policing, and it need people on top to consider that everyone from the ground, they are certain they are working a lot of people so that they can avoid crime. So in terms to policing, it has to be like a strong mandate and understanding how people feel and how people feel unsafe out there. So police need to protect us. They need to come up with a lot of programs to see what's really happening and what's really the problem, and how can they prevent every crime that is happening in South Africa.
I mean, speaking about the boundaries, I think there are some things that a lot of us as citizens, we do not understand in terms of the boundaries and the laws that police officers need to follow, because we know that the citizens of the country, they expect anyone who does crime to be arrested on the same spot. And sometimes you would find that a policeman would be in the crime scene, and then the community is like, this person deserves to go to jail, and then the policeman will just say, you know what, this is above me, this is beyond my jurisdiction, there's nothing I can do. So those are the things that we need to discuss in terms of how crime is impacting our economy, our country, and our communities, in terms of the incidences that have happened in the past. So please, guys, stay with us, and please just leave it down a comment below and tell us what you really think and what should happen, when it comes to, policing the country and making sure that the people are feeling safe. Or should the people, take the law into their hands, or we should leave the community, we should leave the police to do their job as they are continuing to do so. So please join us on our social media pages. We are share online on each and every social media platform. Right now we are streaming in Facebook, YouTube, also on TikTok. We are just going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we are going to discuss more further against the act that needs to be taken against corrupt cops. And before I go to the break, to remind you from Just a reminder from the government, the basic education, the Department of Basic Education, they have raised an awareness against mental health, which is teen depression. Teenagers go through a lot of physical, emotional, and mental development. Parents and caregivers may find these developments alarming. As teens are getting ready for adulthood, they may exhibit traits such as a poor impulse control, mood swings, irritability, hyperactivity. When you notice something off with your child, you might be tempted to attribute it to adolescence, but you know your child best and you can trust your instinct. When teenagers become depressed, you may observe that they withdraw from family and friends. They are sad and irritable most of the day, appear sad or anxious all the time, have trouble with more than one area of life, whether it's a school, work, or their friends. And also, they stop enjoying things that they used to make them happy, and they stop caring about the future, and they have major changes in behavior or the sleep and appetite. So, for more information, please go to the website, which is the www.education.gov.za, where you will find all of the services offered if you find that your child is going through mental illness. So let us take a short break, and then when we are going to come back, we are going to discuss further what our headline, which is the Act Against Corrupt Cops, and what Mr. Sizwe Mchunu, known as the new police minister, has for the people of South Africa. Please stay with us as we just go for a short break, and then when we come back, we are going to continue. A good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, as I welcome you back to Mzansi Affairs. My name is Moeketsi, my man, and I am not alone. I am with Mr. Jabulani on the call, who will be with us as we are discussing our headline for today, which is the vows to act against corrupt cops. We know that the newly appointed police minister, Mr. Senzo Mchunu, spoke out on the July 15th of 2024, which was Monday, giving all the outlines and the priorities of acting against the crime that we are facing. And we still invite you to join us in our social media platforms to discuss the ways of solving crime. Do we say that we can leave crime to people to handle it themselves better, because they are the ones who are seeing what is happening? When the police come, they do not understand, the full story of what's happening. But now, how can we as a country find, necessary solutions to the problems that we are having with the crime that we are facing? It's something that we are going to slightly discuss with you. Please join us on our social media platforms. We are share online on each and every social media platforms. On X, we are share online. Also on YouTube, share online. Facebook, share online. TikTok is also share online. You can go to Instagram, is also share online. You can join our conversation, and if you want to leave your voice note or your comment on our WhatsApp line, it's 061 524 7758. It's 061 524 7758. So going back, Mr. JB, on July, Mr. Senzo Mchunu, the Minister of Police, he outlined the priorities that that need to take place in this country, as we are seeing the high level of crime in this country. It is not under control, under necessary control. So I just want to hear from you, just a few ways of, dealing with the crime. What should we expect from the minister, and, how should we move in terms of solving this crime, high crime, in the country?
More, it's a clear thing. You need to deal with corruption within the high ranks of policing. Going down, because if you need to start sweeping in the house before you go outside. So if you deal with the people that they feel that like they are above the laws, they control other people, and they make sure that people are suffering on the ground because of their ethical behaviors and all that. So if you sweep in the house and make sure that there are big repercussions for policing are not doing well, and
All right, I think Mr. JB is cut off there by network, but hopefully we will get him back on the line. But he was speaking about making sure that the necessary measures are taken so that the crime can be under control in our country. So right now, I just want to take you to the words of Mr. Senzo Mchunu, all of the outlines, priorities in which we are going to be going through today, the whole speech that he gave, because it is very important for people to understand, and they do follow what the police minister say to the people, so that everything in this country that has to do with crime can be solved. And also, crime to be solved, it needs people like you at home to listen attentively to what's being said, so that we can follow the right measures. So right now, let me take you to my screen and read what Mr. Mchunu had to say on the 15th of July. So he said in his own word, it is our view and understanding that tough measures may need to be taken to reduce crime where necessary. Addressing the media in Pretoria on Monday on the ministry's priorities following the establishment of the government of the national unity after general elections. So these are the talks that are happening around the country, in which how is crime and corruption going to be solved in our country as the newly formed government, National Unity, takes a part and they take action, and also they are out there making sure that necessary leadership is put to places. So we have a comment there from Nolu on TikTok saying we have seen in the past that depending on the system is very draining. So I don't trust the system. I mean, it's everything. It's every citizen in South Africa. They feel drained by the system that has been put into place, so that the country can be well protected and the country can be well placed, because we know that the things like crime, they can have a very huge impact in the economy. Things like your private investors and companies who come here and make sure that people get more jobs. So how do we then create a safer space for people to come in and make sure that whatever that they're doing is not going to be affected by the levels of crime? I mean, changing ministers, is it something that do we really need, or we need to change the whole, policing systems? So I have a TikTok. I have also a comment from TikTok from Jasmine saying, don't you think this all starts because of the low salaries? Indeed, Jasmine, I have to agree with you there. I will have to agree with Jasmine, because starting with low salaries, we have a level of high unemployment and a rate of poverty that is striking the people in the country and the people who are from the poor backgrounds. So things like that, those are the ones that promote and make the crime levels in South Africa to be high. But now, in terms of the low salaries, now, why now do we have to put, systems like the policing? I mean, maybe if the money that is being put, in the policing system, maybe that money could be used, to create more jobs, because we believe that when more people are working, that means there is less crime. I see that Mr. Jabulani is back on the call. So, Mr. Jabulani, please take us through where you left from.
Excuse the reception more, as I've said at the beginning, that we might struggle, but we'll manage. I was saying that you need to start sweeping in the house, high ranks, policing, corruption, going down. So it's easier. And at least if they can negotiate more for police to earn better than how they're earning, so that it's not going to be easy for them to be tempted in any crimes that's happening in terms of bribes and everything. It causes a lot of chaos on the ground and everywhere until to the ranks. So if he can start dealing with that, and so that he can enforce in a lot of things that he need to do in his policing, is going to be better for everyone. If high ranks, they make sure that they look at them, that they are not corrupt. So going down is going to be easy for the other police to work with crimes. And if they can improve their salaries, I think a lot of them, they get tempted easily, and when they get the situation of people that are doing
Because when you speak,
all over the place, then yeah.
Because when you speak about the low salaries, it also comes back to the comment from Jasmine, that all of this starts because of the low salaries that they have been given. I mean, if you do not make sure that the citizens of the country are well taken care of, even the people that are supposed to protect the people and make sure that the streets feel safe are underpaid, we are going to see, that is what we call the method of chaos, that people are underpaid, and now they will perform under what giving duties that they are given. So it's something that needs to be, just to be make sure that they see it through, because the stats are not looking okay. If we can invest on people who are keeping us safe, it is going to be much better to feel safe around where you are from, as neighborhoods, are something that in this country are not safe at all. So let us go to the stats, in terms of the communities, So right here with me, the highlighted text, it reads as follows. They say strong communities are known to look out for each other. So when you know your neighbors, they will do, Okay, let me try to zoom it in for people to see at home. So right now, the highlighted text I'm going to read so that we can all read it together. It says, strong communities are known to look out for each other. When you know your neighbors, you will be more inclined to look out for them or their property, and they will do the same for you. Even if there are no official neighborhood watches, when neighbors know each other well, they are more likely to be aware of the comings and goings at property, which ensures the extra pair of eyes on their neighbor's home when they are not around. These are the kind of things that we read about in the internet, when people come, speak about how do they solve or how do they fight crimes in their communities. So we would like to know from you at home, sitting and watching this right now, and tell us, what's the better way of fighting crime? If, the police, they take time to respond to the crimes that they need, to respond to in order for everything to be fine. So I don't know, Mr. JB, because a lot of people do not experience the same thing as other people are experiencing in terms of neighborhood watching, and making sure that your neighbor watches your house while you are not there. So have you ever experienced that, or where you are living, it's the community like that where people, they watch each other's backs?
In most cases, more what's happening is in communities, most of people they form what we call a policing forum, or they form groups, community groups, where if you see someone that you don't know, or people that you suspect, you understand, so you can report it in the group, so everyone will look out for that person, because like there are places that that communities are most areas that are going to work, so people they want to go there and do crimes. So if there are few people that are around, they will be able to report if they suspect someone or suspect behavior in the area, so they start reporting on the group now. And rural areas, I'll say that they formed what we call policing forum. Understand? So it's people that work hands in hand, giving police information, and they make sure that the areas are safer at home. And it's easy for people that if you want to report domestic violence, crime, and anything, that's the people that you can access them at any time so that they can collect with policing. So those are the things that comes from the top to the ground. And so if we work together as a community and police, we can be able to make sure that stats of crime go lower each and every day.
Yeah, indeed, because it raises so many questions that if people have to come, in their communities and stand up for the crimes that are being done, it questions the system of policing that is happening around those communities, and those communities also, they need to come forward, and they do also come forward and speak about what is happening in their communities, as they always complain that the crime rate is high and we do not see the level of response that we need from the police officers, right? So when we listen to Mr. Senzo Mchunu, it's something that he mentions all of the time, and people, they can go and check it out on the government.za website, in which I'm going to share with you right now the act of Act 12 of 2004, which is called the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act 12 of 2004. So right here, the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act of 2004 intends that it has to provide for the strengthening of measures to prevent and combat corruption and corrupt activities that are happening in the police force or anywhere in the country, to provide for the offense of corruption and offenses relating to corrupt activities, to provide for investigative measures in respect of corruption and related corrupt activities. It also intends to provide for the establishment and endorsement of a register in order to place certain restriction on persons and enterprises. Also, it intends to place a duty on a certain persons holding a position of authority to report certain corrupt transactions, to provide for the extraterritorial jurisdiction in respect of the offense of corruption and offenses relating to corrupt activities, and to provide matters connected therewith. I mean, this act is an act that a lot of South African citizens can look into, because these are the things that are being, reassured to people that if anything wrong happens, you need to go back to the drawing board and check what do the laws say about crime. If you see someone do crime, according to how you're going to report to them, what do the law says. So that is our conversation, ladies and gentlemen, right here on Share Radio. If you would like to join our conversation, we are Share Online on each and every social media platform. Facebook is Share Online, YouTube Share Online, also on TikTok we are Share Online. Please leave down your comment and tell us the ways and structures of finding a way policing system in this country, making sure that the people in our country are safe, and wherever they are, they do not fear. So, Mr. JB, let us take a short break, and then when we come back, we are going to discuss more further relating to the actions that are being taken against the corrupt cops in our country. A very warm welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are still watching Mzansi Affairs with Moeketsi and Mr. Jabulani on the call. And we are also live on each and every social media platform. Specifically, we are live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube and TikTok. You can join our conversation on all social media platforms. We are shared online on each and every social media platforms. And if you would like to leave your voice note or your comment down on our WhatsApp line, the number to do that is 061 524 We are still ongoing with our main headline of the day, which is the act against the corrupt cops and the vows that were made by the police minister on Monday to take down the corrupt cops and fight the crime in our country. So, in terms of fighting the crime, Mr. JP, we know that. It's these stats that tell us what's happening around. So I just want us to discuss the impact that crime has on our economy. So what do you think? What do you think? The parts that are mostly affected when crime levels, when the crime, stats increase in our country.
It's all about restoring public trust. Uh, they make sure that everywhere where there is businesses in terms of economy, you know, they are safe. They are more safe here because if you can open a business and then you always get robbed, it shows that you're not gonna be managing that business because like you will be in a state of losing. So in terms of that, where there is a business areas, they must make sure that they engage with the business owners and the securities. They work hand in hand with policy. They make sure that there will be no crime that will be able to take place in this area. So, which means the business are going to run smooth and the economy is going to be strengthened. So, if people are opening business and then they get robbed at any times and they not feel safe, it's affecting our economy and we're not growing because it going back to a drawing board that those businesses are the ones that create they do job creations, you understand. So if the business are not running, people are not working, it means more state of crime is going high. So we need to really look at those kind of things. So it comes from up to down. It's a chain. It's something that we look at each and every day and where can we improve? How can we improve? Sitting down and engaging with this type of conversation, do a survey in people's areas and make sure that everyone come with an input and how do we see this? How can we deal with that so that it will take us in a better place and improving in certain areas that we're lacking. It's not all about police only. It's all about police and community engaged in such areas. So we will win at the end of the day.
Yeah, indeed. Winning, it's something that all of the communities strive into when it comes to making sure that they are combating crimes in their lovely spaces. So, right now, going back to the words of Mr. Mkunu, the Minister of Police, right here in my screen, he says that we have spent the first week in office meeting with the executive management, provincial commissioners, and divisional heads of South African Police Service. We have done this to ensure that we have a broad understanding of the portfolio, including the challenges and opportunities, so that we can map out the priorities and urgent tasks at hand, said the minister. He said he had benefited from the briefings from the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, the Hawks. Also, the IPID, known as the Independent Police Investigative Directorate, the Private Security Industry Regulatory Authority, and the PSIRA, and the Civilian Secretary for the police service as well as various organizations and institutions within the security area. And also, it also sums up to the ways that he said right here that the crime levels in this country are on the increase and are intolerable. We need to act decisively and bring this under control. The levels and the type of crime differ from one provinces to the other. We need to make sure to take this into account as we implement the integrated national crime prevention strategy. And also, currently, the leading crimes in the country are contact crimes such as murders and rape, as well as hijackings and kidnappings for ransom payments. The killings of women and children also continues to be cause for serious concerns and warrants intensive action from law enforcement. Our mission is clear. Our country must be safe for all citizens. People all over South Africa must be able to move around at any time without fear of marauding criminals. Gang violence is also on the rise, noticeably in the Western Cape. The situation must be brought under control so that children in the Cape Flats, in Khayelitsha, Site C, parts of Nelson Mandela Bay and parts of Gauteng can be able to play in the streets without fear of being hit by stray bullets. I mean, these are the words of the minister himself, and mentioning all the horrible crimes that are happening in our country, that, a lot of women are being killed out there, a lot of children also being killed where there is gang violence in the communities. I mean, it's crimes like these that need the police force, because when you talk about the gangs, if you try to tamper with the gangs as, a community, a lot of people are going to find their lives on the line and their lives on the danger. It's things like this that, police forces need to focus on in terms of making sure that the vulnerability and the lives of the people are taken care of. I mean, the prevention strategy that is being put into action by the minister, it's something that has happened, but now, is it something that is going to work for the people? Is it something that is going to work for the country, so that we can see the growth that we want to see in each and every department? Because crime now, it's involved in areas, and it's something that needs to be, well taken care of. I mean, before, when it was Minister Cele, Minister Cele, when he came, there were certain implementations that he put forward, to solve crime. But there were points that a lot of people, and also in the governance, they did not agree with, because they saw that this is going to bring turmoil in the country. So I just want to know, how did you feel about Mr. Cele, in the position of being a minister of police? Was he doing the right job, or there was where his job was tampered with and he also got in these corrupt deals? So I just want to know from you, in terms of the serving of Minister Cele.
I think he started very well. We were impressed, and then he came up with a lot of strategies, and then he was harsh, to a lot of criminals. But along the way, he was captured and he was relaxed. He feel like now he's owning everything, and then so that's where he started to tamper with the communities. So, and he started to relax. Some, they were complaining about his age. Now he's tired and all that. I remember when he introduced the beret. I mean, those guys, they were enforcing a lot of law in policing. So, and people, they were scared of that. So dealing with crime, you don't need to be soft. You need to be hard. And then the law as well. It's fighting with our police. They don't have that much power to enforce to the criminals, and at some point they tamper with a high rank policing. If I'm in the ground there, and then I do bust people that are doing crime and take them to jail. At the end of the day, those people, you see them again in the street, because you're tampering with the high rank policing. So that's why I said that the minister needs to sweep at home, deal with the high ranks, and then going to the ground. So it's all about that. Police need to know that they are safe at the end of the day. If you bust this kind of crime, people doing crime, and then you know that if you take them to jail, your family are protected as well. So if they let these people do whatever they want, because you're protecting your family at the end of the day, and you're protecting yourself. So there must be laws that give our police power as well, and make sure that whoever that do crime, they rot in jails, and that it will be easier. So Mr. Bigitele, he did a great job at some point, but at the end it was needed to be substituted. So let's give Mr. Mtuni a chance, because it seems like he's coming with a lot of things that we like, but remember it's always on paper. So we need to see the action, and let's give him a chance and see what's gonna happen.
Going through the new police minister outlines a priority which Mr. Senzo Mkuno outlined on the July 15th is what we are discussing. So please join the conversation and comment down below on what you think the new strategies and what should the police services in our country need to do in order to make sure that the crime levels in our country stay in control, as we know that crime levels can have an impact on economic itself. So we hope to hear from you and tell us what you really think. So right now, let us take a short break, and then when we come back, we are going to discuss what the police minister discussed and spoke about when it comes to the outlines and priorities that need to be taken out so that they can solve what we call the act against the corrupt cops in the SAPS. Quarter past one is 1:15 is my time right here, ladies and gentlemen, and you are still watching Mzansi Affairs with me, Moeketsi, my man, and joining me on the line is Mr. Jabulani, and we are still discussing our main headline in which Mr. Senzo Mchunu vows to act against the corrupt cops in our country and make sure that the levels of crime they go down, as we see that the levels of crime in the country are raging very, very high. And he came out on Monday and gave out the priorities that they will hand out and the mandate to police services so that they can solve the amount of crime that we are seeing in our country. Thank you so much to Melo for the gift on TikTok, and we will also like to hear and engage with us on all social media platforms. We are Share Online on Facebook, YouTube, also on TikTok, Instagram is Share Online. If you want to communicate with us or send us the voice note and listen to it right here on the station. It's 061 524 7758. 061 524 7758. Mr. Jabulani, back then, and a lot of times, South African citizens have been worried about the age of the people in the ministries and in the cabinet. That a lot of the grannies and the grandfathers, they must go out. And now it brings us to something that has been, spoken about a lot of time, which is the new technologies that need to be used. The reason that the crime is high is because they are not giving young people a chance, to implement new technologies that can be a vehicle to, solving a lot of crime. So, because Mr. Mchunu has mentioned the technologies, so I don't know, what do you think, it made the past government, or should I say the past ministers who handle the police service portfolio, not think about the technologies that can fight crime? Because we know that technology is something that, was not invented in 2012. Technology has been there for a long time, and we know that technology can really, play a specific role in solving the crime in South Africa. So I just want to know from you, what do you think made, the old people who are in the police services to not think about the technologies?
It's one thing, exactly the point that age it was a problem. That's why sometimes we need young people to engage in such things, and lead, so that you can think and for the next coming generation, because old people, they've got their ways to deal with things, their old ways, and they don't believe much in technology. While and we are moving in the fourth in the industrials, which lead us to have technology in a lot of stuff. So it's easy if we give young people chance to engage in such high position. They will come up with a lot of strategies and using technologies. There are places that need cameras. We need drones to patrol. We don't need police to move around with vans. Nowadays we have drones, so it's easy that if we have areas that there is drones that are patrolling, and then there are people that are controlling those drones and check that every place is safe. If there is something that they need to attend, they can rush to such areas and know exactly how they're going to attack those kind of crimes, because they already seen in the screen sitting in the office. You understand? Unlike they call police for there's a crime, you need to identify the suspect, what they're holding. It's something that was not. They wait for those people that are doing crime to run away so that they can attend. You understand? So that they can investigate. Which it was going to be simple if it was a drone. The position of the people and what they are carrying, so you can be able to attend that. So it's what we need. Fresh mind, fresh people in the cabinet of policing. To deal with such issues that it's been hindering a lot of uh, things that's supposed to happen on the ground and everywhere. So we can improve. There is a lot of space of improvement. Mr. Mkuno just need to introduce few things and few people and make sure that technology is being involved in some areas so that it can help to solve the issues that we have in South Africa.
Taking and speaking to the public, this was Msenzo Mchunu words when he said, with regards to the use of technology in the police service, Mchunu said the integration of technology in police services is crucial for enhancing the efficiency, effectiveness, and overall capability of law enforcement. We will prioritize the rollout of new technologies to detect and deter crimes. Advanced technologies such as data analytics, artificial intelligence, surveillance systems, and digital communication tools enable to better predict, prevent, and respond to criminal activities that are happening around. These tools provide officers with real-time information, improve decisions making, and facilitate faster, more accurate investigations. Technology also enhances transparency and accountability and fosters greater public trust. I mean, these words, they do sound trustful, but now we want to, speak about where crime is happening mostly, because you would find that crime happens mostly where, you can't implement that kind of technology. We still have, places around here in the townships where it is very bad that whenever they install a CCTV cam or a camera, it gets stolen. It brings that thing that even if you can talk about the huge weights, but now how do you make sure that somebody in the township is safe? How do you go with your professionalism and tell the people in the communities in the townships that they're safe and they're going to eliminate or alleviate the crime that is happening in the communities? Because we know that in townships, especially in Cape Town, even here in Gauteng, Johannesburg, Soweto, we have police officers doing deals, arms deals with the criminals, who they're supposed to be fighting. So speaking about technology, it's something that should come after, because the same police officers, the same corrupt police officers will pay these criminals to destroy these kind of technologies. Now, when you spend more money on technology, you have to spend more money on making sure that there's a security for that technology, because the technology itself, it's something that is expensive. It's something that money needs to be coughed out, and people will be asking, where is the money coming from, while people don't have jobs? We have very beautiful technological infrastructure that protect us, but the people who are in this community, they do not have jobs. Whether you like it or not, they're going to steal those cameras and sell them so that they can have a better lives and to feed their families. So I think these things, they are deeply rooted to the kinds of communities that we live into, because if cops are corrupt, that means it is easy to corrupt the citizens, because now there's immunity being promised to the citizens by the cops, and now you see that the crime levels, they do not go anywhere. The people who are being deployed by the ministers to fight crime, they also do the crimes that they have been deployed to prevent in certain places, because these crimes, they do not only happen in these small townships, they also happen in the suburbs. Police officers given instructions by the people who have money to do certain jobs for them and to protect them when they're going to do certain jobs. So it's that thing that as much as communities are being there for each other, but now how do we go to the police services, to the SAPS, and they should draw a mandate for the communities to ensure that crime doesn't happen. So I think, yeah, we have covered most of the things that Mr. Senzom Kunu said, and you can also go to, to find more and to read more on what he said on the day. You can go to sanews.gov.za. It's sanews.gov.za. That is the website where Mr. Senzom Kunu, speaks about the priorities that need to be implemented in the police services moving on forward, as he was applied the new portfolio as the new minister of the police. So, Mr. JB, in conclusion, say, please, your last words in this topic.
I think more is gonna be okay if Mr. Simpson Gono do a lot of programs and engage with communities and listen to the communities. How do they feel? What kind of crime they're experiencing in their areas? And the community as well need to be involved in helping police, to fight against crime. So that hand in hand, working hand in hand, is going to be something that we will need, and we need to support our police and show the criminals that we stand together, because divided we fall. So that it will help a lot to reduce the stats, because like each and every community, if they deal with what they are suffering about, is going to be easy, and helping police to deal with these criminals, so it's going to be easy. So I like what is coming about. There is a lot that you mentioned, so the only thing is to give people confidence that our police are going to work again, and then there is a new management. There is a lot that he is going to deal with, more especially in areas that we've mentioned, that police ranks where they are taking bribes, and then it comes down that all the criminals, they will be out there doing their thing, because they know that they are protected on top. So you need to expose everyone that is doing wrong things, and then make sure that there will be a repercussions in a lot of areas, so that it will help a lot. So I'm looking forward to Mr. Sons of going to do his thing, and I think we're gonna win, and we're gonna have a safe South Africa.
Indeed, because the most important thing that Mr. Senzom Kunu, highlighted for the citizens of South Africa is that, um, uh, they have, and he wants people to change the negative perceptions that they have about the police officers. And as the country, we need to respect the police officers, have confidence in them, and feel safe in their midst. So we hope that everyone, listen to Mr. Senzom Kuno, as we are going to be in the next, the next step of solving crime in our country. So we do we do like, if you guys would come forward, and work hand in hand with the police officers in your community, so that the crime that you need to be solved can be solved as you need. So this was the last of us as we are concluding, and we would like to say goodbye to you. And Mr. JB, thank you so much for your time, and please have a great day ahead.
Thank you very much, Mo, and thank you for the listeners, and thank you for the viewers. And then let's meet next week, same place, same time.
Indeed, let us meet next week, ladies and gentlemen. You were watching Mzansi Affairs with me, Moeketsi, and Mr. Jabulani, all the way from Pretoria. So we would like to say stay safe and take care of yourself as we are moving to the next step of making sure that our country feels safe, and we need to work hand in hand with our cops. You can join us on our call on our social media platforms. We are share online on each and every social media platforms. On X, formerly known as Twitter, we are share online online, Facebook, share online, YouTube, share online, also on TikTok, Instagram, we are share online. Thank you so much for your time. We will see you next week, same time, same place, right here on Mzansi Affairs. Thank you so much.